What's up, guys? I'm Chris Eaton, and welcome to episode 110 of Snakes and the Fat Man. Now, we got some big shit going on behind the scenes here, and I'm pretty excited about it with some major players in the reptile game, not only the ball python hobby, but the overall reptile game in general. And can't talk about it right now, but keep checking back because I am very excited to tell you guys about it. And listen, I'm aware that there's a metric ton of fucking piece of shit podcasts out there that you could listen to. I appreciate you listening to this one. We're not one of them. All right, here's the deal. Go pick yourself up a bag, a brick, or a bigger bag of fucking Reptichip. Why? Because JT is the shit. Okay? Nobody else even is close to him in the whole cocoa substrate game. Use Reptichip. Fucking don't use any of these other fucking cunts. Reptichip.com. All right. Also, listen to this. Redline Shipping is continuing its domination of the reptile shipping business. Okay. Robin just came in, took out the competition, and is continuing to kill it. He's also doing this thing at Tinley March where he's doing the fag bags, like they used to have in the 80s, where you could buy patches for them. Normally, I wouldn't buy a fag bag because I don't rollerblade, but I guess I kind of do now, right? Like fucking wheeling around in this chair. I got to tell you, a little, pocket satchel type thing would really help. Okay. And not only that, but he's having all of these vendors, all of these reptile business people coming in and making their own patches that could Velcro to the front of the bag. So you guys should definitely buy this from Redline and go collect all your favorite breeders' patches. Snakes and the Fat Man has two, one of which is only going to be available on the Snakes and the Fat Man website and at Small Town Exotics table at all the NARBC shows. So definitely check them out. Listen, if you got to ship a reptile, fucking just go to redlineshipping.com, okay? Robin is offered 60% off your first two shipments with Redline. And then you just have to use the code Robin60 to get that. And then you get an additional $5 off Redline's already discounted rates by using the code FATMAN5. So head on out to redlineshipping.com. Robin's doing amazing things in the fucking hobby.
Religious figures are calling it the end of the world. May God have mercy on us all.
All right. Well, speaking of non-shitty podcasts, okay, there's going to be a new one starting tomorrow night. That's Friday at 9 p.m. It's called In the Foxhole, and that's going to be on the Green Line Morphs channel. And I am co-hosting it with my boy Jay Caps and my other boy Paulie Bag of Donuts, winner of the 2023 Snakes and Fat Man 15 Minutes Lane contest. This podcast is going to be a little different. It's going to be focused around veterans. Okay. So we're basically bringing around to each episode veterans that are also breeders and in the hobby. And we just want to get their perspective on everything. And I feel, and Jay feels, and Paul feel that veterans aren't coming together enough in this reptile community. So maybe we could help out with that. And as you guys know, anything that has to do with helping out vets, I'm there 100%. Always will be. That's really the bottom line because Fat Man said so. Now, speaking of helping out the veterans, we're doing this campaign. We're doing this campaign with the Hero Company, where if you buy a bracelet from them and use my affiliate link, all the proceeds from the bracelet go to helping veterans get a service dog with veterans with PTSD. So it's a good cause. We did the Till Valhalla one last year and the year before, and now we're switching it up. Now I got my bracelet. I don't know if you could see this. Let's see. Can you focus a little bit? Yeah. And it came, I don't know, 5 days ago. I fucking love it. Fucking love it. It's such an easy way to fucking help out. And I want to thank guys like Adam from Proper Royals, Shane Kelly, my guys from other podcasts like the Vintage Geeks for hopping on this campaign. And, you know, just doing this small thing to help out people that fucking gave you so much, right? So, I mean, that's really it. Anytime there's a fucking, anytime you could help a veteran out in any small way possible, just fucking do it. My affiliate link is in the description of this video, so go there and buy yourself a bracelet. Now the way their affiliate links work is they give me a commission, but I'm going to show that commission publicly, and I'm going to just give that all of that commission back to the Hero Company, because I really believe in this, you know, in this cause. And like basically every returning veteran should have a fucking service dog. All right, that's all I'm saying. All right, listen, Chimera, Patrick, and Andre still have not provided me with a new ad. I don't know what to tell you guys. So what I'm gonna just say is know what you don't know. Learn it from Chimera. Their consulting services, as far as ball python breeding businesses go, is unmatched. I mean, there's nobody that does it like these guys. And business is sucking all around for you ball python people. Learn how to make it not suck. Okay, learn how to make it actually be worth it. Go visit chimerareptile.com. The business of shed testing has already gotten disrupted, and it's gotten disrupted by a guy working in his fucking garage doing the exact same work with the exact same quality, with the exact same test results as the big guy that's been that's had hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in him. Gray Rider offers shed testing for cryptic, clown, yellow belly, hypo, lavender albino, asphalt, gravel, pied, candy, albino, ultramel, and just added hurricane slash trick slash blitz that the fat man's been saying is the same fucking thing for the last 10 fucking years now. Okay? But fucking Charlie's here to prove it. Charlie's here to fucking prove it. Go check him out at shedtesting.com. All right, so this is another one of those unscripted rants that I'm going to go on. Nothing written down, no notes taken, no outline or anything like that. But something that aggravated me. There was this cocksucker down south who started making fun of the contest last year, saying that it was just a popularity thing and basically shitting all over the contest. Now, as I suspected, his whole collection is for sale. Okay. And as I suspected, He's crying the blues again about some shit that fucking can't handle. Basically, what happens is he says he's gonna get out of the hobby every 3 months. Okay, so now this shithead's collection is for sale, and this motherfucker keeps tagging me in every sale post that he puts up. Okay, and he's just fucking basically using the fat man to get views on his shit. He shit all over the fucking fat man. Now he's using the fat man to get views on his shit. This is the type of trash that's in this community. Okay. So just be wary of fucking trashy motherfuckers because there's so much white trash in this community. There's so much white trash. And it's getting to the point where we got to get a hold on it. We have to say no more. No more white trash. Okay. No more you're fucking putting out fucking albino pinstripes. No more of you putting out your fucking banana fucking pies. Okay. Nobody cares anymore. Okay. You're fucking selling dog shit. And fucking don't be surprised when shit doesn't sell because you're producing dog shit. That's really it. I mean, it just pissed me off that this fucking guy has the balls to fucking, give me shit for fucking something and then go ahead and tag me and shit so that his fucking stupid ads get more views. Seriously, fucking fuck these people. Okay, so it's 2024. You know I'm not going to do the whole hello clutch thing because you guys just didn't get the joke. Okay, you guys didn't get it, and you fucking hurt the fat man's feelings. But what are you gonna do? Clutch is the fucking best ball python management software out there. It's basically everything's done on the cloud. It's the easiest thing to use. The UX, the user experience is so fucking good with Clutch. The only downside is start using Clutch when you have 10 animals, 20 animals. Not when you have 200 animals, because what's going to happen is you're not going to want to do the initial work involved to input your animals. Okay. But if you do, use fucking Clutch, man. It's by Canova. It's by basically the guy that is Apple in our fucking hobby. So listen, don't stop fucking around. Just go check them out at cltch.io.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Snakes in the Batman proudly brings to you its new breeder segment, 15 Minutes of Lame!
Hey guys, it's Justin at Canova. So in the past few years, Canova's become the top source for amazing ball pythons. Now Chris tells me, Justin, it's time to give back. So we're sponsoring the 15 Minutes of Lame to support the new and upcoming breeders. So jump in here, let's hear your ideas, let's hear your thoughts. Maybe you can turn your 15 minutes of lame into 20 years of lame, just like I did. If you want to be the man, you got to beat the man, so bring it.
15 Minutes of Lame!
What's up, everybody? Look who I have here. The only members of the Harbin family that could tolerate my mouth for a whole fucking 15 minutes. Got the Herping Harbins here, Josh and Alicia. What's going on, guys?
Hey, man.
Hey, how's it going?
Good day. Yeah.
Good day that I got a Harbin on this show, so it's all good. So, so now, I mean, you guys do everything, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're hognose people, and I don't think a lot of people know that we have ball pythons and corn snakes too. But I'm a full-time veterinarian. He's a full-time engineer. He also does prototyping for things. He's actually made some probe clamps and 3D printed several things for trying to do some industry add-ons. And so I quilt. Nobody really knows that about me.
God, gay. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's really gay, but I do that. But I know we do all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So now
we pick up all sorts of hobbies and do it for a while, but the snake thing has stuck around.
Well, you could do that because you got no kids, right? So
exactly. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
No concerns there.
could just live a happy life and be
Yeah.
and be thrilled. I mean,
Yeah.
whenever I ask anybody what the happiest time was of their life, they either say either before my kids were born or after my kids left. So
Yeah.
nobody really concentrates on that 20 years in between that you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, I got to take care of this thing. You know,
Yeah.
like it's just the work.
From what we hear, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It sounds like.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah. And a lot of like a lot of dumb shit that you never thought of, like, you know, oh, how am I got to teach this kid about God and Santa Claus and fucking all this other bullshit that we fucking talk about.
Exactly.
Well, anyway, you know how this works. We're going to put 15 minutes on the clock and we're going to start that now. I already know where the name came from. I mean, it's a little, Herping Harbins. I mean, what made you guys stick with that?
Yeah, we wanted to kind of obviously try to carry on the family name, the legacy comes along with that. But then we didn't want to say like Harbin's balls or Harbin's corns. We wanted to say Herping because that really encompasses everything that we like. Yeah. We've got a chameleon and a frog, and then a bunch of snakes. So it kind of fell together.
It's easy to remember, and it's simple. You know, the only time we've ever been questioned about it is by like non-reptile people, like, what is herping? You know, they automatically think of herpes or something. It's like,
we collect herpes.
So that's what we wanted, you know. But it just kind of flowed, and it was, you know, two short things together that went well with the logo, and so that's kind of how it stuck.
Well, it's so much better than these dumb names that these ball python people are coming up with now, right? Like grab your balls and fucking suck my balls. And it's like, dude, I'm not going to buy a $5,000 snake if your company name is Suck My Balls. Right?
No. Yeah, it doesn't sound right. And we, you know, we see families and stuff, and you want to make sure that you just look, you present well. And so,
you don't want to send a kid to school with the snake for show and tell, and they're like, "Where'd you get that from?" And they're like, "Suck my balls." And they're like, "Hey, dude,
doesn't sound good."
You can't say that anymore, man. Now, you guys have been on it forever, right? Like, how long have you been doing this?
Technically, we haven't been in the breeding program forever, but of course, he grew up around it with his dad doing this forever. But he wasn't really part of the snake program. He was the rodent caregiver.
I raised the mice and rats for Dad.
Yeah, and then
I just wasn't into it back then. I don't know. It just is. I had like a pet gecko here and there, so I always had like some type of pet reptile. But as far as like the breeding and husbandry and morphs and things,
we got our first hognose in 2019 from Tom. We had seen them at his place and stuff, and I kind of got interested in them. We already had a corn snake. We bred a few corn snakes about 10, 15 years ago, and never went any further with that. And I still have my original corn snake. He was hatched in 1995, and he was actually bred by his dad before we ever met. And then when we met the hognose, it kind of just snowballed. We started going to shows with his dad and mom, and then it just went crazy. And so our first breeding year wasn't until 2021. So.
Okay, was that with the hognoses?
Just strictly hognose initially. So.
And when did you start doing ball pythons?
Last year, we actually had our first clutches of ball python, or actually, I guess 2022, into 2022. And then last year we had 7 ball python clutches. And so we're expecting a few more this year, but we are also going to expect about 3 times as many hognose this year.
Right. Okay. So you guys are more hognose than anything else.
Definitely. Yes.
Okay. And then the colubrids also, when did you start with those?
The corn snakes, we actually just started those last year. We've had corn snakes for years, like as pets. That was kind of our primary pet, or my primary pet. But we did not have our first clutches until last year.
Yes. Okay. So many babies.
Oh,
they are.
So many.
But the nice thing is you could keep them in a smaller footprint than the ball pythons, right?
Exactly. So very small. We have a lot more babies in one area compared to the ball pythons. Yeah. So. Right.
And what do you enjoy most out of the 3?
The hognose.
Hognose still.
Hognose, yes.
Even though you have almost 100 ball pythons.
Yeah. The ball python interest really started for me for the genetic complexity of it. And that kind of is where it carried on. Then his dad and I started talking about, you know, what with the ball pythons, like what we liked and things like that. And I said, you know, we probably need to learn these species, because I have a feeling his dad is wanting to make sure that we can carry that legacy on. And he was really excited when we started getting more interest in the ball pythons. And now we're kind of carrying on what he's going to be, continuing himself, but he wants to have a backup plan. So
right. Well, is this more of a money-making thing for you guys, or is it just a hobby still?
We hadn't run the numbers until we started watching more of your podcasts when you'd ask people. And I'm like, where are we at? What have we done? So we ran some more numbers this morning. And actually, I think we're like at a break-even point this
almost
year.
A break-even point. I do think eventually it could be something as a supplemental income or a little bit more income. I honestly would like to go part-time as a veterinarian. I'm at that 19-year mark, and I'm starting to get kind of old and decrepit for wrestling animals all day.
Right.
But
great, though.
Oh, thank you. But I do think I would enjoy being able to do the snakes as at least a partial business. I mean, I don't know if we're not going to be a Canova or anything like that, but I would like to have a good business going with it.
And you guys, you guys fucking travel far to do shows. I mean, you guys are in states that I would have never thought that you'd even go up to.
Yeah.
So, how many shows do you do a year?
I guess we were kind of running around 8 right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say 8 to 10.
Yeah, 8 to 10.
We always do the Knoxville shows just because we don't have to travel anywhere.
Right.
No hotels or whatever. We're just in it for a table fee. But
Yeah.
we've tried to explore some of the other, neighboring states just to see what's going on. It's kind of tricky to find a state where you can sell all 3 of the species, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, like Georgia you can't even take a corn snake in Georgia.
Right.
West Virginia can't. And so, not that they're a big profitable snake, but we still would like to be able to take our collection that's ready to be sold wherever we're going. But Daytona, we do Daytona every year. We attended Tinley, and we've got our application in. We'll see when that finally goes through. That may be a while. And then we're going to go do Dallas, formerly known as Arlington, in April, and that will be our first bigger show in that group. So,
okay, cool. Do you have a hard limit as far as travel time? And what makes it worth it, and what doesn't?
If her schedule allows, I can usually get time off pretty easy, but it's working it into her schedule.
Yeah.
It's the hold up right now.
I see Dallas probably being our limit, because I think that ends up being about 13 hours for us. So we can do that in a day, splitting it up.
Any further than that, we'd have to drive a day before and a day after.
It would be a little bit more than we would want to handle. So
but Tinley is still probably about 12 hours for you guys?
It's about 8.5.
I think it was 8.5.
8.5, 9 hours. Maybe we did split that up. We left after I got off work one evening and made it part way up, and then we just drove in 2 hours later and got there early in the morning to help with setup, because we didn't vend, but we helped his dad and his mom do all the setup and VIP and everything like that. So
right. Well, and being that your dad is who he is, what are some big projects? Are you heavy into Monarch and shit like that? Okay.
Yeah, we should have Monarch this year. We have Dreamsicles coming down the pipe. We actually have something that he doesn't work on specifically, but we have a G-stripe clown in the incubator right now.
Oh, that's that stupid name snake,
Kiki.
right?
I know that's your favorite one, Kiki. So we've got that, and of course we've got Krypton Clown blending. We got DG. We've got DG Clown. So we do have that conglomerate, and I think the Dreamsicle is probably my favorite project, and maybe Josh's too, as far as the colorations and stuff. And we're actually trying to build that a little bit bigger and probably get into Holy Grail stuff pretty soon. So.
Okay, gotcha. Well, as far as money wise, if you go to a show, do you have a minimum that you have to make at that show? Because some people are like, I need to make $3,000 at this show in order to make it, tolerable.
Honestly, I don't think we're like that. We're pretty happy if we cover the cost of the hotel and the trip. We like just going out of town and eating someplace different. And I don't know, we like getting in the car together and traveling. Even
if we don't hit a certain number at a show, we get follow-up sales after the shows. People reach out a week or two afterwards. Yeah. So it's hard to say the minute we leave the show is the stopping point.
Yeah.
Right. Well, normally it's not, right? I mean, normally the person that buys a $300 snake at the show, depending on your customer service, will come back to just you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For their $500 and $800 snake, and kind of
we've seen it. Yeah, we've seen it happen in our short period of time. We've had follow up, which is really awesome to be able to do that.
And do you guys morph market versus shows? What do you prefer?
We sell more at shows. We do list on Morph Market, and we do sell things on Morph Market. Yeah. We usually list some of our higher end stuff on there. We're more likely to sell that versus selling that at a show. Right. But I tell you, I know that probably I'd say 80% of our sales have been at shows.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would assume the show circuit is coming back now. Yeah. I think because so many people are not using Morph Market anymore.
Exactly.
And, I mean, that's not to throw shade at them or anything. It's just the kind of the reality. Like he's pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah. The sales stuff and things are just getting kind of crazy on there, and maybe
now they're doing
more madness and stuff, and auctions. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just bringing the value of the animals down more by doing that. But everybody has their own opinion on it. But we didn't do anything with the Morph Madness. We left our prices as is. So.
Yeah, I mean that's it's a stupid name anyway. Yeah. All right, let's talk sponsors real quick. Right off the bat, do you guys use ReptiChip?
We don't exclusively, but we do have a particular animal that stays on ReptiChip. He is our travel snake that goes to snake shows with us, and his enclosure has ReptiChip in it.
Well, I just don't know if that's good enough.
Yeah.
I think JT's going to give you a big old fuck you right there.
All right.
All right. Now, I know you probably haven't. Have you ever used Liberty Business Services?
No. I actually looked it up, but I haven't. Yeah. We haven't started that. No. Okay.
They're a cool company. They get some people some money back, and they donate to USARK. Now, do you have any sea serpent racks in the house?
Yes, we do. Yeah, sea serpent rack that holds our Vision 15 and 18s. Is that right?
There you go. Yeah. Chris Nettles does not give you a fuck you. Have you ever bought a snake from Canova?
Yes.
Justin does not give you a fuck you. However, do you use clutch?
No. We it's not multi-species. It's pointless for us. No.
You have a very good point there. But Justin also negates that thumbs up and gives you a
That's okay. You. I'm sure he'd prefer the money from the snakes that
I'm sure he would too. Yeah. Now, do you use Redline shipping?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, Robin does not give you a fuck you. Robin's taking over the shipping space, man.
It's amazing, yeah.
Have you guys ever did any shed testing?
Yes, with Gray Rider and with RGI. So both.
Nice. Isn't it? Didn't you get it back in such a short amount of
time?
Gray
Rider is so much faster, and the price is good too. So.
Yeah, I love Charlie, man. Yeah. Have you ever bought anything from Reptile Deli?
Yes, actually, horn worms and wax worms for our chameleon.
No shit.
I like getting that stuff at a show for the chameleon, but if I can't make it to a show,
we got gaps between shows. We'll order. So
right. Well, Brian does not give you a fuck you. I like that. Okay, I like that because nobody, that I've been talking to has ever been like, yeah, Reptile Deli, but they do some cool caging and everything, and they go down by you guys too to do shows. So
yeah, we've seen them come down in our area.
Yeah,
so,
they're good people. I saw your logo. It doesn't look like you hired Stewart Design to do that.
We're not in that price bracket for those guys.
Yeah. No, as much as I agree with you, Blake Stewart gives you a fuck you. Yeah. Now, have you ever used Chimera for anything, whether it's ball pythons or whether for business advice or anything like that?
We just found them at Tinley. They were coming around.
We have their T-shirts. I mean, I don't know if that matters, but we've been watching the podcast that Patrick does. And so, but I do anticipate buying something from Chimera at some point because they have a lot of things that we like. But we haven't yet. We haven't yet. So
Patrick is such a good guy too. It's he's definitely. I guess you want to keep it in the whole doctor thing, right? So
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Now, if people want to get in touch with you, how could they get in touch with you, and what's the best way?
Instagram at Herping Harbins is our probably fastest way to get a hold of us. We also have our email info@herpingharbins.com. So
okay, and so you maintain a website.
Yes, we do. It's a very minimal website. It's mainly just to kind of push traffic other directions, but it is something to keep some flow through. But we don't sell anything on there.
Okay, and I mean, I would say that both of you are kind of too old for TikTok, so you probably don't have a
I
TikTok, right?
don't TikTok. No.
Yeah. I don't dance.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that two professional people do not have a fucking TikTok, because
No.
nothing pisses me off more than seeing like a doctor with a TikTok account. I'm probably not going to go to you. All right.
Definitely.
So, all right. So now, where do you see the Herping Harbins in 5 years?
Oh, hopefully me either not being a veterinarian at all, or at least part-time relief work, and traveling to all the NARBC shows that we can, still doing maybe some of the local stuff, Daytona, hopefully having some, double and triple recessive visual ball pythons along with hognose. We have some high-end hognose. That's where most of our
It doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. You hit that 15. But you could finish. Of course you could finish. Fucking you guys don't want to be Canova, but you want to have like a little income for when you retire. Basically.
Definitely.
There aren't many hobbies out there that pay for themselves. I mean, like boats or guns or golf, like that's a one-way money stream. At least this you can stay neutral if you play your cards right, maybe make some money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And actually staying neutral is the best thing, the best term that you could have said, because I mean, the 95% of the people just stay neutral, right? But like they're happy with what they get. Actually, that's not true. Like a lot of dudes just fail. And that's why you see all the
We're not going to do that.
Yeah, well, the thing is that you have a benefit right off the bat, right? Because you guys have great jobs. Yeah, and you're not dependent on this. Like fucking, how many people have you met where they're like, listen, I I just spent $50,000. Shut the fuck up, Jesus Christ. $50,000 of my retirement on ball pythons.
Yeah,
and you talk to them for like 2 minutes, and you're like, yeah, I want to do
bad
that.
plan.
Yeah, that's a bad plan, dude.
Yeah.
But I love it. I always tell people there's 80% shitheads in this hobby and 20% really good people. The problem is that the 20% people are good enough to keep you coming back.
Yeah.
It makes you ignore the 80% of fucking shitheads.
It's true. It's true. It is true. Yeah.
Well, Josh and Alicia, thank you so much for hanging out with me for fucking 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I will let you know when this comes out. And everybody go check them out at Herping Harbins on Instagram. There's no fucking stupid underscore in there or anything, right?
No dots or whatever.
Okay, good deal.
Straight words.
Good deal. Okay. God damn it. These fucking underscores. I mean, you could always tell who grew up in the 90s when there's underscores and they think it's normal. You're just like, no, it's not normal, dude. Anyway, guys, thank you again for spending so much time with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Listen, guys, Stewart Design doesn't just create logos, they build brands. What do I mean by this? Well, your brand has both a verbal and visual side. Think of this as your brand message and brand image. Your brand message is what initially draws clients to you and continually generates new business. After that, the quality of your product and service keeps them coming back and retains them. Without effective messaging, you're only going to be connecting with a small percentage of the clients you could be connecting with. Your brand message helps you clearly define who you are, how are you different from your competitors, what value you offer to your clients, and why potential clients should choose you over others. For this reason, Stewart Design always starts branding projects by developing your brand's message first. Creating a logo without understanding why and how it needs to look is only going to hold your company back and should be considered fucking malpractice. Stewart Design starts by clarifying your goals, audience, and industry. Then they form your messaging. After that, they strategically determine what colors, styles, and fonts make the most sense to use. And then finally, how the logo needs to look and function. You see, the visual identity of a company should be a natural result of proper strategy. Because the question really shouldn't be, do I like this? It should be, will this work? Stewart Design figures out what will actually work and provides you with a true investment to grow your business. When done right, it should attract the right people and it should reflect your business properly. It should make your company more memorable and it should build trust and credibility with your clients. On the other hand, if it's done poorly, it could do the exact opposite. It could make you look amateur and can actually deter your business. Don't settle for a fucking idiot that simply offers you a cheap logo. Build your brand the right way. Bring out your best so you could get it right from the start and finally move out of your mother's fucking basement, crush it at Tinley, Pomona, or Arlington, and build a life for yourself doing what you love. Contact Stewart Design today. You could reach them at stewartdesignbrands.com. Again, that's stewartdesignbrands.com. All right, so now basically we have the kingpin of breeders in Long Island, fucking Devin Baker of Blue Line Morphs. Now, Paulie Bag of Donuts is from Long Island also, and he's the hot shot in Long Island right now. But fucking Devin Baker has been doing this shit for years, and he knows this shit. Okay, he's a good fucking guy. He's a fucking great fucking breeder, and he knows what he's doing. Plus, he does all the shows around here, and he's really kind of making a killing at this thing right now. And listen, law enforcement, gotta love those fucking cops, right? Gotta fucking help out those fucking law enforcement people because fucking it seems like nobody else is these fucking days, right? So the fat man is gonna change that. And we brought on Devin Baker. Fucking love the guy. Met him about probably about 8 months ago at a local show in Long Island that I went to. Great fucking guy. I think you're going to love him. Here's my one-on-one with Devin Baker of Blue Line Morphs. Hey, everybody. Look who I have here. I have the fucking king of Long Island. Fucking Devin Baker from Blue Line Morphs. What's up, brother?
What's going on, brother?
Oh, yeah, you know how it is. Fucking another Long Island guy. But this is... Yeah, there's quite a few of you, but this is the this is the peak because apparently you're the big dog in Long Island.
No. I just put myself out there more. You got guys like Matt Foley, Anthony Soto. Those guys are light years ahead of me. A couple of the names I'm forgetting. I just put myself out there. I just like shit. I put myself out there more, but there's definitely guys in Long Island that are way past me.
Well, you are you originally from Long Island or no?
Yeah, I grew up where I am now. I grew up like a block away.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's kind of typical New York, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Made it out. Italian or no?
Made it out.
All right. Well, that's the whole thing. Normally, you buy the house right next to your mother, or right across the street from your mother, and you're like, fucking, I'm good. In case I have kids, I got a babysitter. I got fucking anything I need.
Like everybody loves Raymond. Just walk across the street.
Right, exactly.
That's exactly what it is.
Fucking, so you've been doing this for how long? And you just do ball pythons, right?
Yeah, I want to venture into leechies eventually. Just I like them. I think they're cool. It's just that simple. 2019, I would say. I've had reptiles my entire life, like since I was a kid. But the idea of having an actual business, probably kind of breeding, formed around 2019. Summer of 2019.
2019, okay. And your legit business, LLC and
S Corp,
yeah, S Corp. Okay, good.
Yep, full S Corp. Yep.
And just so people realize how long it takes, at 2019, how long did you take it to start making some money at this?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I actually thought of this the other day. I kind of sat here and looked. I probably put anywhere between 3 to 5 into this. I would say probably around 420, 430. After this season, I'm probably even. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've held back a lot of shit. I put a lot of money back into the business also. But as far as money recouped financially, it probably took 4 seasons, 3 legitimate seasons of breeding to actually break even, to be like even square. That's
at $4,000.
400,000.
400,000. Okay, all right. Now we're talking.
$4,000.
Yeah. I was gonna say, holy fuck, dude. I'm like,
you want to see one male?
yeah, that rat costs more than $4,000.
Yeah, no, I would say like $400K.
400K into this.
Yeah. Yep.
And what do you do? Like, what do you do for a living?
I'm a cop.
You're a cop.
Yeah.
That got $400K to put into a fucking
No, I
reptile
didn't have
business?
shit, bro. I hustled. Don't get me wrong. It was a lot of we just I've talked about it time and time again. There was a period I sold my off-roading Jeep, I sold my Mustang, I sold a quad. There was a time where I'd work overtime, double shifts, a lot of overtime. I was doing Uber Eats, top pay NYPD detective, doing Uber Eats with my dog to make extra money and just put it in, and I made a decision and I put everything I had into this.
So, and that was 2019. You were just like, fuck it. I see that there's a possibility in this ball python thing. I'm going to go all in.
Well, like as a cop, like you're around a lot of firefighters, cops, other first responders, and a lot of people always have like that side hustle, whether it's, they're a mason or they're a tile guy, contract. They always have side hustle. And I always wanted a side hustle. I grew up relatively, we just talked about like borderline white trash. You know what I mean? Like very modest means. And I was like, you know what? I'm never going to live the way I lived. So I always strive to make more money. So I was like, you know what? I want to find some sort of hobby, some sort of business. To be honest with you, I bought a house and I was like, all right, cool. I have a house. And I wanted a reptile. I grew up with reptiles. I'm actually a turtle guy. I love turtles. Love turtles and tortoises. I decided to go to Jungle Bob's. I was going to pick up like a Pac-Man frog, something like that. Saw ball pythons. I had ball pythons growing up. I had boas growing up. I bought a normal ball python. It was a juvenile, probably, now that I know what I know, it was probably a month old. Took it home. Was drinking a little bit on the couch, got my laptop out, had the snake out, found Morph Market. And then when I was a kid, it was like albinos and pies were like, that was it. Right. I found Morph Market. I was like, holy shit. And then I started seeing the prices of some of these animals. My mind started going. And I was like, all right, but I don't have money to put into this. And then I bought more. And then it spiraled into making a social media. And then it made, then it made a YouTube eventually. And then it just spiraled out of control. And then it kind of started as a joke in a bar. And now we're here. Right.
Well, and you also had some problems early on, right? With the collection? Yeah.
Well, so my first pairing ever was Luna, which is a Super Russo, right? A bell to a banana pie. And I had a little setup. I had a homemade incubator. And I guess the thermostat was bad. I smoked the eggs. Like it turned to just hard-boiled eggs. Right. And then the next clutch was the same male to this 2019, beginning of 2020. I forget. And the next clutch was that male to a normal. And I borderline almost killed them because it was getting too hot. I actually have one holdback over here, a normal pied female that I had to keep for the first clutch. But yeah, I smoked my first two clutches pretty much.
And when by the third clutch you were kind of like, all right, this is probably the problem, or did somebody tell you the problem, or how'd you learn that you were, heating them too much?
How did I fucked up? Well, I bought the homemade incubator, came with the thermostat. I then upgraded my incubator to Sal. Gomez Python sold me his incubator, and that thing obviously was, not a homemade incubator. So I sold that incubator to somebody else. Hey, listen, I had some issues with it. Good luck. And they said essentially the Helix thermostat that was on it was faulty. So it was reading at 88. It was actually like 97. Well, you know what I mean? That's essentially what happened. Right. Plus, I made plenty of mistakes myself, but I blame the equipment on that one. But that was my fault too for not checking.
Right. Well, things like that, especially the Helix. I mean, there's not a lot of control. No. The Helix used to have. It was like fucking one level, one fucking probe.
Old school, yeah.
I don't even think there was varying degrees in it, like 90.1 or 89.5.
No, you just said 88.
It was just 88.
Yeah. It was not 88. It was funny is I kept that. I filmed the video and I kept that first clutch in the incubator till 60 days and I cut it anyway. It was legitimately just hard-boiled eggs. I was like holding on to like hope and I was like, just hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah, no, that fucking happens. And now, like in 2024, how many legit clutches have you had that hatched out everything, being fine? Like, what's your number of clutches per year, and what are you going towards versus, how small do you want to stay?
Well, see, this is like the internal battle, right? You have like two thought processes, right? The first thought process is, all right, just keep upgrading the collection, keep getting more and more animals, produce more and more clutches, right? But then it's like anything else. Then you have more to sell, more to feed, more in the market. The other thought process is, do I just keep upgrading my females, right? So you keep like 50 breeders, keep upgrading them accordingly. I'm kind of stuck in between. So to answer your question, I had about 26 clutches in 2023. Two are still in the incubator now. Even though they're going to hatch in 2024, I pair them in 2023. So for me, they're 2023 babies. So they hatch now, but you know what I'm saying. This season coming up, I have like 90 breeders ready to go. I'm not going to do that. I'm probably going to shoot for like 40 clutches, but instead of having any lower end stuff like core glow combos, I'm not really going to do that stuff this year. It's pretty much just like 3, 4, 5 pied combos or higher. And that's pretty much like that's the thought process this year, probably around 40.
Right. Well, the thought process used to be stack as many codoms as you can, right? Or incomplete dominance as you can. And now it's really changed, because I remember we had like some kind of 7 gene snake. It was like we bought it from Nerd, and shit looked like a dirty sock, right?
Looks like shit, right? Sure.
Yeah. And that's what we called it. We called it the dirty sock. We were just like fucking, like, what are we gonna do with this, right?
Yeah.
And somewhere around 2020, it kind of changed to everything being recessive, consistently recessive. I mean, like double and triple and quad recessive.
Well, that's where we are now, right? I mean, it used to be like, I remember we were just talking about money aspects. I bought a male from Ozzy Boyd. I call him my Ozzy Pied. He was like a $4,000 male. Pastel, ODYB, Fire Leopard Pied male, right? Home run in 2020. You breed that to as many pies as you can enjoy. I recreated him this season. Maybe it's like an $800 animal, you know what I mean? But now it's like he's almost obsolete, where he's just a pied now, right? So now it's like if he's not het something else or double recessive het something else, it's almost obsolete. And that's kind of where the industry is going. I think it's going to be one of those things where you're always going to have the new codoms that pop up, right? Stranger was big for a while, right? Wookiee was big, stuff like that. You're always going to have those new genes. People want to get into clown projects. But the next step for like your base, I think, is going to be double, triple recessives.
Oh, I think that, first of all, I think a Desert Ghost clown is going to be under $1,000 by the end of 2024. And I almost think,
look at clown pies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I almost think that basically what everybody's going to be looking at is it's going to be a desert clown base, so it's going to be at least that, because so many people are putting out Desert Ghost clowns now. I think that's just going to become the new base morph, and everybody's going to work off that and add to that.
Yeah, I definitely think your single recessive clowns, even like if it's like a Pompeii or like a Stranger, with a couple other codoms, clowns is gonna kind of be like your base. And then to your point, it's gonna get to the point where it's like, all right, well, I want to work with hypo and pain. Well, you better stack clown and DG on top of that, right? Clown and DG have become like synonymous with what you want to have in every project. In other words, like a hypo clown pied is X amount, right? But then a clown pie DG is X plus, two times. And it's just really that simple. So I think you're exactly right. I don't think it's ever going to get crazy at that point, because you got people like today, I sold an animal for $300. It was a pastel banana cinnamon pied animal. There's still people that enjoy snakes, and they're going to have 5, 6, 7, 8 pets. They're never going to breed. So for us breeders, your baseline's probably going to be some sort of at least a recessive double het something, or double recessive het something else, right? That's going to be pretty much what you have to work with to stay relevant. But again, just because that's what people are commanding, if that's not what you like, you don't like it, right? You don't have to chase Justin. You don't have to chase all these big guys. I mean, if you want to make some money back, you're going to have to, right? Because they do command the market. It's really that simple. It is what it is. If they like it, they put it out, it's going to carry a better premium, right? There's codoms that have been around for fucking years that don't demand any sort of premium, because no big name has done anything with them. But just because other people ran with it, it kind of is what it is. So.
Well, and you as like a mid-level guy, right? Like that's what I would say you are in the standards of things. Like you're probably a little bit upper mid-level, but you're not at a Justin Ozzy
no one's even close to those guys
level yet. How do you get around the problem of you're constantly selling to future competitors?
I don't think it's a problem at all. I don't think it's a problem at all. I mean, you hear the whole pyramid scheme, the Ponzi scheme aspect of things. It is. It really is. But you have to like to be in it, right? So, I make an animal. and I sell it to somebody who wants to make what I made because they want to make where I'm at, and I buy from the next guy, and it keeps going down the list. You just slowly move yourself up that pyramid, right? And there's nobody buying from you for your competition, then who are you going to sell to begin with? The more competition you have below you in the pyramid scheme, the more people in the industry. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The people that don't want if you don't want other breeders to do well in this hobby, you're destroying your own hobby. Don't get mad.
I would agree with that, right?
Just catch up.
Yeah, like rising tide lifts all boats, right? Like fucking.
It is what it is. Yeah.
That should be the way it is. But obviously, you've been around long enough to know that it's not. You know,
right? Yeah,
it's not that way. I mean, you guys in Long Island have a little group of people that actually, and I saw it for myself. I saw everybody in Long Island wants everybody to do better. You know, they want everybody to do good. I don't think that you would fuck, fucking Kevin over at Sugar Stone.
Just Paul.
Just Paul? Yeah, fuck Paul.
Fuck
Paul. Yeah, Paul's a cock. All right. This is a fucking pain in the ass.
I got Kevin's shirt on right now.
Right. Okay. So, but you wouldn't fuck Paul or fucking Kevin to make an extra $10 or to beat them to a sale, just for the fuck of it.
No, zero chance, dude. We were just at a White Plains show. I got 2 tables, and then Kevin, Paul, and Nash I gave them one of the tables over there. And Kevin was selling pies for way cheaper than I was selling pies. And he sold like 3. I would rather my friends sell. I have no problem with that.
Right.
As a business aspect, I get the cutthroat aspect of things, but these are my buddies. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is a hobby. And I've been involved with other hobbies where you don't make any money back.
Right.
So if I'm going to make a little bit of money back, cool. Like, don't be wrong. Everyone wants to make money in this hobby. And you're going to have the guys like, oh, I don't care about the money. Well, then sell all your shit for $50, right? If you're going to make a triple recessive, sell me your $50. I'll take care of it for you, no problem. But they won't, right? So people are like full of shit in that aspect. Everyone wants to make a little coin doing it. You don't got to fuck your friends to make that money.
Well, exactly, right? And the thing is that I almost miss the days where people were more cutthroat and people would stab you in the back to make $20, because at least back then they cared about their business. When I go to a reptile show now, everybody's like drunk by 10:30. They don't fucking care if they're selling shit, like fucking, and it almost makes you miss the days of like, hey, let's really try this, like fucking.
I think the reason why it's probably a little less cutthroat now is the social media aspect, right? You had to be cutthroat, whether it was like the King Snake Classifieds or going to shows, because that's what your audience was, right? It was a couple of classifieds, and then there was a couple shows, and you had to be cutthroat. Where now it's like I can post on Instagram, YouTube, Morph Market, and I'm reaching people, in the 48 states and Canada. So I don't think you have to be as cutthroat, because your audience and the people you're selling to has opened up a lot more.
Well, also now too, it's like there's always another snake, right? Like no matter what you're buying, there's, I don't want to say always, but 90% of the time, somebody else has the snake if somebody is cutthroat with one thing, That's why when I see people doing auctions and like a $1,500 snake will sell for $300, everybody starts crying that the sky is falling. But that was one snake. That an auction doesn't set the price of a fucking animal, And would you agree with that, or would you disagree with that?
Well, I think you're going to have the people that are like, hey, listen, like it just happened with a stranger clown. And the guy's right. Like somebody lowered their price significantly on Morph Market. It was like, hey, this one just sold for X amount. I'm like, all right, fuck it, I'll match it. I don't care. With the auctions, you're going to have the guys that are going to be like, hey, this got an auction for $300. It's like, all right, no doubt. I have the animal now. This is the price. If you want to wait for an auction, cool. Because just like there's another snake that'll come along, there's another customer that'll come along.
Right.
So it's one of those things too, especially the market now. Everyone's saying, the sky is falling. I never experienced the market being down like they say it was like 2017.
Right.
But I spoke to I've surrounded myself with a lot of people that have been in the market, the industry for a long time, and it always seemingly bounces back, right? It's just kind of what happens, especially with the recession. Who's in the White House right now? You're going to have a shit industry across the board in any hobby. And people that are crying that the sky's falling, then sell your shit and get out, dude. It's just that simple. No one wants to hear you complain. No one wants to see your memes. If you don't like it, then sell your shit and get out of the hobby.
Yeah. Well, now would be and I'm believe me, I don't want to encourage you fucking ball python people, but a legit business guy would be like, now is the time to buy, right? Because fucking,
it's like stocks.
I
Sure.
mean, you're getting shit for 50 cents on the fucking dollar now. People are just getting out and selling their collections for anything they could get from.
I just picked up 5 breeder clowns. Okay, I'll tell you what they are. ODYB clown. These old breeders. ODYB clown, super fire, possible OD clown. Fuck's the other one? Vanilla OD fire clown, a Batman, and a cinnamon spot nose clown. Those animals 3 years ago, Chris, was how much? 30 grand.
Yeah, I was gonna say 8 grand a pop, 5 grand a pop. Yeah,
4 grand for all those.
Good for all of them, right? Yeah.
Whatever. Listen, it's people get greedy too. I look at it like this. Now, I'm fortunate, and a lot of us, I think the reason why a lot of us Long Island guys are relatively cool to each other, we all have our 9-to-5s, our careers, where we're stable in that aspect, right?
Right.
And I commend the guys that do this full time. That takes a lot of balls, and it's tough. But for us, it's like, all right. So if an animal 2 years ago, 18 months ago, 6 months ago was selling for, let's say, $2 grand, and I'm getting $1,000 now, it's still $1,000.
Right.
Like if you're going to complain about $1,000, you're a shithead. Like I would still be happy with it.
Right.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you're breeding snakes. All right?
Right.
You're taking an animal, you're putting it in a tub, you're feeding it, you're putting it together with an animal, you're hoping they lock, you're throwing it in a fucking oven, and you're waiting 60 days, and you're selling it to another breeder. Like you should be very happy with whatever income you make.
Right. No, I agree with that. I never agreed with the the price drops so much that because no matter what, let's say you have stranger clown, you put stranger clown to stranger clown, right? And you get a bunch of stranger clowns. They're never gonna be $300, okay?
No.
So if you get anything over 1,000, you have 4 of them.
That's a lot of money, dude.
That it is a lot of money. It's fun. People don't get that because they're like, I paid $4,000 for this snake. I want every snake that it produced to be a $4,000 snake, and it doesn't work.
I look at it like this. Like my stranger breeder right here, right? I got him as a breeder. My buddy invested with my company, spent 20 grand on him. Stranger leopard clown, okay? And if you follow my channel, he almost died. I had to hand feed him. I had to nurse him back to health, right? And he took a whole season off. And essentially what happened is, had he bred the way he bred this season, 2023, had he done that in 2022, these animals would have commanded way more fucking premium, right? Like I was making animals like this. Like this is a holdback male. This is a high OD yellow by fire stranger clown. I make this 2021, 2020. It's like an $18,000 animal, right? He's a holdback, but I still made animals comparable to him, and maybe they sold for 4 or 5 grand. Like, how are you gonna be mad at that? Because you missed the season because it went down in price. It's $4,000. Like, cool.
Yeah. Well, now, and do you find your primary customers are other breeders, or are you selling to pet people also?
Both. So I realized very early on in this hobby that you should have to make a name for yourself, right? There is 1,000 ball python breeders every square block, and that's fine. Nobody has a problem with that. You gotta have a nice logo. You gotta put yourself out there. I played into the cop gimmick. There's there's a lot of police officers in the world, but for what I do and my job, like if there's somebody on this planet, I'm gonna be a dick right here that can boast about being a cop. It's me, right? And I played into the gimmick. That's my gimmick. I started a YouTube channel, did all that. I built up a name for myself, put myself in front of the camera. You watch me fuck up. You watch me, cook clutches. You watch my first clutch. Some of these animals, like I had people buy, a pied head clown animal for me. Mike for M&K, he literally watched me buy the Aussie Pied Boy. He saw the videos of me doing Uber Eats, watched me buy that animal, watched me raise them up, watched me put them in the pastel clown pied, right? Watched me hatch it out, then he wanted to buy that animal. So to answer your question, I sell to both, I think. There's people that watch the social media aspect. There's people that are close by that just like snakes. So I had a girl today that picked up a snake that she's not going to breed. It's like a 4th male banana she purchased from me, but she likes bananas. It is what it is. So I have no problem. $300 still $300 in my pocket. And the flip side of that, I got to meet somebody tomorrow to drop off a stranger clown. That's a breeder. That's somebody different. So I sell to both. It's mainly breeders because I'm starting to, I don't say elevate, but I'm starting to gear myself towards more higher end animals, double recessives, a recessive, head, double, whatever. So now it's definitely more geared towards breeders. However, I don't want to ever neglect pet owners because they are the ones that are either future breeders, right? And they're a big aspect of this hobby. So I always want to have a table. I like doing the shows. I like talking to people. I always want to have the table where I have maybe an OD pied that I also have an OD clown pie. You know, I want people to go to the table like, hey, oh, it's the guy from YouTube. All right, cool.
Right.
I can't afford this $3,000 clown pipe. I can get a pipe. And I always want to kind of make sure I have all that for people.
Well, right. I mean, and that would be the game to play, right? The game to play would be have the low end to the high end. But also what you guys have that I'm jealous about that we didn't have 5, 7, 8 years ago was we didn't have the people that would spend $4,000 on a pet. And you guys have that now. And, you know, I used to be the whole, if you're into ball pythons, you're breeding it for money, right? Because fucking nobody that I know has one ball python, all right? No. So you can talk about your love of the game all you want, but nobody I know has one ball python. And I'm not saying there's not a woman in Kansas that doesn't have one ball python and fucking and takes care of it like a pet, But I'm seeing more and more where people are just dropping $4,000 and they have 3 ball pythons with no intention to breed them, at all anymore. Please excuse this brief interruption for a word from one of our sponsors. All right, listen, there's not going to be any paper shaking here for Liberty Business Solutions because I ran out of paper. Okay. And I don't want to shake up and ball up and fucking wrinkle any actual documents that I have here. So the joke may fall short this week. But listen, I'm going to read it. The following message is not financial advice. Are you a 1099 employee, also known as an independent contractor? If so, Kevin from Liberty Business Services could help you receive up to $32,000 back. The self-employed tax credit was passed by federal legislation in response to the old the COVID-19 pandemic. This money comes back to you in the form of a check from the U.S. Treasury. Maybe you're a business owner with W-2 employees and experienced a partial or full closure supply chain issue, or had a loss of revenue during the old COVID-19 there. The Employee Retention Credit Program was created for you. All right? You see my bracelet there? Fucking a hero company. Okay, check out the link in the description. Anyway, it was created for you. Where are we here? You could be eligible for the ERC program, which is a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Also, a portion of Liberty Business Services proceeds will be donated to USARC. For more information, please call or text Kevin at 570-855-6060 or go to libertybusinessservices.com for more information. I'm telling you, this guy fucking works magic, man. Look, it doesn't matter what reptile you're feeding. The Reptile Deli has it all. I'm beyond excited to have my old friend Brian Kazmarchak bringing the Reptile Deli to the strip mall that is Snakes and the Fat Man. I've watched Brian grow this business from a fucking storage pod to a 25,000 square foot facility in a state where they make it almost impossible for a small business to succeed, let alone grow. Reptile Deli has been producing some of the industry's best feeder rodents for almost 15 years. Their rodents are grown under the best conditions and regularly tested for quality to be sure they're in optimal health before they ship them right to your door. Reptile Deli also has a roach issue. They've spent years raising dubia roaches and have put insane efforts into R&D so that your pet reptiles get the very best. They offer cut dubia roaches, bulk dubia roaches, and wholesale dubia roaches in a variety of sizes. Are you one of those bioactive people? The deli offers simply the best isopods and springtails in the business, with cutting-edge isopod and springtail technology that brings in unbelievable shelf life with biostable microhabitat culture cups. They have an incredible selection of isopods for sale, from rare species all the way down to the common roly-polies, man. Reptile Deli has grown into a cutting-edge feed manufacturer and are distributors of the most advanced reptile products. But don't take my word for it. Take the word of over 800 retail locations across North America that are selling their products. Check them out now at reptiledeli.com. So
Well, I think that plays into, you have guys that collect comic books. You have guys that collect cards.
Right.
I think when it comes to ball pythons, like, you can't have 30 fucking monitors. You can't have 30 full-size reads. You can, but it's not going to be easy, right? Somebody that has that collective instinct, that like they have that compulsive like collective behavior, which I do. Like, I always love collecting shit. I always have, right? So I think that plays into that with this. So people are like, hey, I like snakes. I can have 4 or 5 ball pythons in one rack, and I can show them off, or I can just enjoy it myself. So I think it plays in that collective aspect. People like, they have that collective aspect where they're like, you know what? I want this high-end animal because I watch it on social media, I see it on TV, whatever the case may be. I'll drop that money because I want to have that in my collection. Same thing with spending a couple $1,000s on a fucking baseball card. It's the same thing.
It's the exact same thing, right? So it just takes a different kind of person to go from something inanimate that you collect to something that's actually alive, you know?
Right. And you know, people will make the argument, well, if I buy, you know, a signed Derek Jeter card, it's going to go up in value. Yes, I understand that. But as you raise these animals up too, they do go up in value. It's kind of the same thing. And they are living animals, but it's definitely, I think it's linked neck and neck there.
And do you do the national shows now or no?
Well, I went to Tinley in October after my wedding. After Michelle's party, I'm invited to. I'll go to more shows. I want to travel to all the big shows. You know, as far as vending, I asked to vend Tinley, and they, you know, essentially it was like, I only breed ball pythons, and I can kick rocks, which I get. So that may be why I want to expand into lychees, stuff like that, to get into the big shows. But I plan on going to them. So far,
I mean,
good enough to breed, to vend.
Yeah, I mean, companies like NARBC, you can't really blame them for not, you know, adding on ball pythons, because you don't want to go to a show that's 99% ball pythons, right?
I totally understand.
And I think there's still a way to get around that. I think they make you like vend like the smaller shows now, like Schaumburg or St. Louis first, and then they'll tell you, yeah, you could get into a waiting list that's shorter, you know, for Tinley. But you do the local shows, right? So
yeah, I do the White Plains, Nassau,
right. And there's 3 local shows right next to you, right? White Plains and 2 Long Island shows, right?
Yeah, the White Plains one we just did. They have the Brentwood show, and then Tony has the Nassau show now. He does like 3 times a year.
Right. Okay. Do you think that there's too many local shows going on now, or no?
No, I don't think so. I think they're spaced out adequately. I think White Plains is, even though geographically it's close, it's still different. You have to go through the city. You got to get outside, you know, Long Island. So I definitely classify Nassau and the Brentwood show as the Long Island shows. The White Plains show is, you know, it's more of an upstate show. I don't think it's a problem at all, because even this White Plains show they just passed, not a lot of animals got sold, but it was a lot of people there, dude. Like, it was a line around the block. It kind of looked like the older White Plains shows we were kids we used to go to. So that tells me a few things. Go ahead.
I was going to say that's the problem, though, right? Because fucking, we always said that, and we've done shows at White Plains where we made $15,000, $18,000, you know, just on a Sunday. Yeah. But White Plains does have a lot of those zoo people coming in. Correct. And, you know, it's the people that can't afford to take their families to the zoo. They could afford to take it to the reptile show and still see just a bunch of awesome shit, right? But what I think about the shows is I don't necessarily think that there's too many of them. I think that it does lose a sense of urgency to buy an animal, because you know, like, hey, I'm not going to pull the trigger this week because this same guy will be in Long Island or Pennsylvania next week, and I could buy it from him then.
I've had people say that. I've had people like they come up, they saw me in like White Plains, and they came up to me in like the Brentwood show, like, "Oh, I was hoping you still have this animal." Like, no, it's gone. But I mean, the same could be said for, you know, Morph Market or any of social media. You know what I mean? People will see it's listed, and there's times where people will buy an animal from me on Morph Market, like, "Oh, I've been looking at this thing for 6 months," It's like,
Right.
well, I mean, what are you waiting for? Someone else to buy it? I mean, yes and no. I see what you're saying. You don't want to saturate the market too much with shows because then people don't have any urgency to go and actually buy animals.
Right.
I agree, and I disagree with that. I mean, I think it's the economic climate we're in as a whole, as a country right now, is kind of fucking us when it comes to like people buying things. I think you just gotta wait it out until it bounces back. People have more money in their pocket. I mean, when gas is X amount and the average homeowner has to spend 10 grand more a year just to live,
Right.
they're probably not going to buy their kid an animal. And back to what you said before, like people were taking their kids to shows to look at cool animals instead of the zoo. I really don't have a problem with that, right? I mean, are you going to hold one of my strangers? No, right? And I actually got an argument with a guy about that. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? That kid might be 5 or 6 years old. He shows up to this show. He likes animals. Maybe in 4 or 5 years now, he's buying animals from us, right?
Right.
So, I mean, that's the idea of this hobby is you have to get new people in the hobby. That's how you build this. When I see kids
of course. I mean, the whole thing is based on bringing new people into the pyramid thing. But I really also don't consider things a pyramid in this hobby because a pyramid is a scam right off the bat, right? Like this is not really a scam. Like you're still getting these incredible animals. You're still getting things that are worth what you pay for them right now. Now, it used to be, even 2 years ago, where like single gene bullshit what was going for top dollar, right? Like fucking during COVID, everybody was selling their pinstripe clowns or their fucking their female clowns and all that and getting top dollar for it, right? But now that everybody's kind of running from this whole market scare, I'm not seeing a lot of $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 purchases. I'm also seeing that shows are more they're more necessary for people to get rid of their inventory because of the new way that Morph Market is being run. Now, do you see that too, or do you have no problem with the way Morph Market is being run? Or, I don't know how much you sell versus Morph Market versus the shows.
Well, I'll say this: shows iffy. You know what I mean? I do a lot of my sales just via YouTube or Instagram, just kind of putting it out there. I show me cutting. I show the locks. I show the pulling the clutches. I show the cutting, and people will hit me up like, "Hey, I like that animal. You showed an X video." You know what I mean? So often I sell animals before I list them. I'm also really lazy, so like I have probably 30 animals I have to list.
Right.
Morph Market, since the new owner, I haven't really seen much of a change, whether negative or positive. Really hasn't affected me either way. I don't think he's trying to bring the market down at all. I think he's loud and he posts a lot. It is what it is. He can do what he wants. He bought the company. It kind of is what it is, dude. I haven't seen a change. And as far as it's more just social media, I think. As far as the shows, man, not a lot of people are buying at the shows. That's the honest truth. I do think that I geared myself towards higher end animals. Like I was putting the annex at White Plains. I even said to the lady that runs it, I was like, I'm over here in the annex. And she's like, yeah, you're new. I have $100,000 on my table and I'm next to people selling fucking plants and spiders. Yep. She's like, yeah, but you're new. I'm like, all right, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Yep. With that being said, nobody's going to show up and buy a $10,000 animal at White Plains, right?
Right. Well, not anymore.
Right. Well, right. I never vended when it was like huge back then. Correct.
So, you're saying that you bring $100,000 worth of animals to a White Plains show. Like, why do you do that if you know they're not going to sell?
Well, I didn't. It was the first White Plains show I did.
Okay.
I'm proud of what I made, and I wanted to bring them, right? And it was one of those things, too, where I showed them on social media a lot, and a lot of people did come, and they were like, oh, shit, that's the one you hatched. This is this one.
Right.
Whatever. And that was why I wanted to bring them the first time. With that being said, this last White Plains show, I did not bring a lot of high-end stuff,
Yeah, well, that annex room is bullshit, huh? Like, fucking, it's such a bullshit room, man. Fucking
me and Harry in the corner in the annex.
Yeah, I remember when they first opened that because I used to go to White Plains. My first reptile show there, it was downstairs. Okay, and downstairs they have a giant room also that kind of runs the length of half the main room, right? And that used to be cool. And then when they opened up the annex, I would be talking to Bruce, who used to own it. Now his wife runs it, right? Because Bruce passed away.
Yep.
And I was like, this is some bullshit right here, dude. Like fucking, like nobody's gonna come into this. They gotta file into a different direction just to even know that this fucking room is here, right?
So people are hitting me up like, "Are you at the show?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, I'm in the corner, and then I even said to her, I flat out said to her, she asked me how it was, and I say it like it is, dude. Like how I am on social media or YouTube, whatever. If you ask anybody, you met me in person, like
right? Yeah.
I'm the same way. And I said to her, she's like, "How you like it?" I was like, "Eh." I was like, "I have $100,000 here, and this chick's fucking selling plants, and he's selling jumping spiders, and I'm next to them." She's like, "Well, you're a cop, you understand seniority." I was like, "No, where I come from, it's how much you do." You know what I mean? And then I go out to the main floor, and there's guys selling, and there's a lot of riffraff, and it is what it is.
Well, not only that, the main floor, you got dudes selling toys, you got dudes selling books. Like, why don't you put those motherfuckers in the annex room, right? And make it easier for the zoo people, fucking to see animals. We used to call it night planes, and Bruce hated that, right? Like fucking Bruce was just like, "You're making fun of my show on your show, fuck you." And his wife still remembers that. So I'm not welcome at the White Plate shows anymore.
Yeah. Come sit at my booth. Maybe you'll get me kicked out of the annex.
Yeah, fuck.
Like, listen, I'm gonna bring Chris every fucking day.
Yeah, every day you keep me in this annex, I'm bringing fucking the fat man over, right?
Yeah, I'll have you on the microphone, just filming right there.
I'm just gonna wheel him in, all right? Like, because I remember when you guys did this last show, I got an email from Kevin, or a DM from Kevin, and he was like, "Listen, I understand you're broken, but we'd really like to see you at White Plains." And,
I got a push car. We'll put you on the push car.
Yeah,
we'll drop you
that's
off.
what Kevin said. He goes, "We'll figure out a way to get you in." He goes,
you watch the snakes, and just so we make sure you don't go anywhere, we'll take your leg away from you, and then you're stuck there.
Well, the whole thing is like fucking. If I go in through the back, right, I have more of a chance getting through the front, with the crowd.
Yeah.
Okay. But if I go in through the back where they already have that table set up with like the 4 women that fucking collect everything, I know one of them will be like, hey, you, get the fuck out of here, But the thing is, like, I'd be in a wheelchair, and I'm really digging this sympathy that I get being in a wheelchair, so they may let me in, So
what we'll do is we'll get a bunch of guys to buy like the slash hats, and they'll all wear glasses, and you guys all go in at the same time, and we'll see.
Right. Yeah. So I fit in. I'm just a retarded one in the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Like I have 5 slashes. I'm just a retarded fucking slush in the fucking wheelchair.
We'll get you in. Fuck them.
Now, what's the 5-year plan with Blue Line? Because, do you have an aspiration to be a Canova or a Chimera that just produces thousands of babies every year? Or are you happy, like, being more boutique in your basement, of your house where it's convenient every fucking day, instead of like basically having its own facility?
Well, I mean, the good thing is, like, I built a facility in the garage, the separated garage in the backyard. So it is like a little man cave back here, which I do like. To answer your question, this is a lot of work, right? People get into this business, they're like, I'm gonna breed snakes, fucking easy. Dude, I spend 30 hours in here a week. Never mind social media content. Never mind filming. Actually, I'm supposed to film today. I fucked up. Never mind filming. And like feeding, after I'm done with you, I got to go feed. I got to do this. I got to go to Ryan's house. There's a lot of work in here, right?
Right.
And the more snakes you have, the more work it's going to be. So with my job, it's very difficult. I balance it now. I don't know, dude. Like I definitely I've got rid of pretty much everything that's non-recessive. Right. I'm definitely gearing myself towards double recessive. Like my goal is to have like my normal girl. I have a couple normals. I like snakes. I like normal. So I have 2 big normal girls, one from Sal and one is one of my first things I bought in this whole situation.
Right.
I definitely want my normals to be like clown hip pie. That should be my baseline, or vice versa, whatever the case may be. So to answer your question, the next 5 years, I'm definitely trying to gear myself towards double and triple recessives. As far as how many,
right?
What's that?
Visuals, obviously, right?
Correct. I mean, obviously, I have a female there. She, fire, DG, hypo, het clown. that is going to be everything I want in my collection. It's like double recessive, het something else, or het some, recessive, double het something else. That's where I want to gear myself towards. As far as how many, I mean, fuck, I'd love to have 100 of those, right? Because reality is, if I have 100 pairings like that, they're all high end. But it just, the $5 animal and the $10,000 animal requires the same amount of work. Right?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So I want to gear myself obviously more towards the high end, but I also don't want to ostracize the lower end animals where I have a lot of people that watch social media or can't afford. It's not fair to them, right? So I definitely want to. What I do now is I'll have like a pie, like 5 pied females going to that pie I mentioned before. Okay, and those will be my show animals, my pet animals. But I'm definitely going to gear myself towards the higher end stuff. Maybe eventually touching 100 clutches a year. Depends on how PD goes. But I don't ever think I really want to get to the point where I'm like Canova where I have employees. If it goes there, cool, no doubt.
Right, right.
I enjoy where it is now. Obviously, we're expanding always. I could probably have 400 breeders in this facility I have now.
Right.
When we get to that point, we'll see where we're at.
How many do you have now?
Breeders or like overall snakes?
Let's go with just breeders.
Breeder females, 90.
You have 90, right? Okay. Yeah. So you obviously have over 100 snakes right now. Yeah. So 100 snakes is a full-time job, period, right? Like fucking, and people don't get that. I always
it's a lot of work.
There is a world of difference between you opening up a tub and taking a picture of a snake because you want to, and you opening up a tub and taking a picture of a snake because you have to, right? Like fucking.
You're 100% right there, right? I made a comment a couple of years ago. It was like, I'll probably take it to the point where it gets to where I feel like it's work. And with that being said, I'm at the point now where there's some days, dude, where I get home, I do a triple at 2 o'clock in the morning. And that is the beauty of this hobby and this business is I can come in here at 2 o'clock in the morning, film, and get shit done.
Right.
Conversely, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I've been up for 40 hours, right? So sometimes, I come in here, I'm like, yo, I'm fucking tired, but I got to get it done. These are living creatures, right? I can't be like, oh, fuck you, sit in your shit, enjoy. No, I got to get in here. I got to get shit done. So it's a lot of work. And for people that want to get into it, I say get into it. I love it, right? But there are times, too, where it's like, all right, I'm exhausted. I got to get shit done, but it definitely is like a man cave. And there's times where Kevin comes over, Paul comes over, Nash comes over, whomever, and we're hanging out in here doing shit too. And that's like the beauty of like the hobby also. Right.
Well, that's the beauty of the hobby in Long Island, right? Because there's certain areas of the country where there is a split down the lines of a political split, really. Like you can't like somebody if I like this person. Or if I don't like him, you have to not like him, right?
Right.
Like, and that mentality, I don't think that mentality would ever work, right? Because could you imagine, and I'm speaking non-reptile people, just take 5 of your friends and fucking go hang out. There is going to be one dude who is like, man, that dude's a dick. I can't believe you fucking hang out with him, right? And that's like times 5 in the reptile business, right? So like there's always one asshole in every group, and the saying is that if you don't think your group has an asshole, then you're the asshole, right? Like fucking that's kind of just the way it goes.
Yeah, that's Paul in our group,
Yeah, well, I definitely know it's Paul and your group. Yeah, fucking, I definitely know.
As soon as you air this, I'm gonna get the text. Fuck you, motherfucker.
Oh yeah, without doubt. No, I'm gonna tell him ahead of time. I'm just gonna be like, yo, fucking Baker just tore the shit out of you on my show. But the thing is that you guys are all New York guys, right? So tearing ass out of each other is a normal thing. It shows respect for each other. It shows that you like each other, right? Whereas if you pull the same shit that we pull in New York in Georgia or fucking LA, it comes off a little different,
Yeah, well, it's really funny you say that because you're exactly right. I think our group takes it to even the more extreme because a lot of us are cops. So our humor is just as dark and fucked up as it can get, right? And we just keep going with it. So to your point, like if your buddies in New York, the way we grew up, the way you grew up, we talk shit to your face, we have your back behind closed doors or when you're not around, right? But to you, it's fuck you. Behind your back, I love you, right? So we definitely take it to another level. And like, there's people, it's just different in Georgia. I mean, look at Justin. We're doing the grappling matches, and like he came over and introduced himself to a couple people like grappling. And I stood up and like my back was all fucked up. So I made a comment like I feel like I've been gang raped. And he just looked at me and walked away. And I was like, I was like, you probably didn't like, probably not used to that.
Yeah.
But it's the culture up here, dude. It's different. It is what it is. I definitely think it helps us progress as a group.
Right.
We're like a little fucked up family. You know what I mean? Like a lot of them come on the bachelor party with me. They come, they hang out here. You know what I mean? Like there's like you said before, no one's trying to fuck anybody here. Everyone, right. I want Nash to do well. I want everyone but Paul to do well, you know. And like we just keep trying to strive, and because it's one of those things where like the better my buddy gets, like I'm gonna go with him, yeah. Like, it's not like Paul's gonna go here and I'm gonna go here, right? Chances are he's buying shit from me anyway, right? So I'm doing this with him,
right? Well, and were you surprised when Paul won 15 minutes?
No, because Paul is a really good, likable guy. He has some nice shit. We actually had such a good bit, dude. And like we ran out of time. Like it was gonna be the last one he posted. I'll tell you what it was. So me and Kevin were gonna be driving around and we were gonna watch Paul, like it was gonna be like an episode of Cops. And we are gonna see Paul like break my backyard. And I was gonna go and like take him down and handcuff him, like drag him out of there. And that was gonna be like the video, and we never got to do it. But no, Paul's a really likable guy. He put the effort, he put the time in. Yeah. Does he have a good backing here with the Long Island guys and like our Patreon? 100%. You know what I mean? But Paul's just a good dude. And, you know, sometimes in life, like, good people should get good shit, right?
Right. 100%. I mean, good people should get what they're due. It's funny because we were just talking about this before. There is such a world difference between New York people and New England people as far as the reptiles go. Like, the New England people may have that same mentality, like we make fun of you and we like you, but the New England people just come off as dicks. I mean, like total dicks.
So I went to school in New Hampshire, and what I can say is their humor, you're right, is similar to us. They have like that hockey humor. You know what I mean? It's like your mother wears combat boots. It's
right.
Fuck you, bro. It's like that wacky Canadian like hockey humor that's like slightly different than us, and they come off like dickheads. You're right. Right? Is that a good way to put it? Right?
There's such a big difference. The hockey humor is
right?
A good way
sense.
to describe it.
Yeah.
You know, because they're just I mean they just come off as assholes, you know, like fucking. And
what do you think people say about people like you and I?
Oh, we come off as assholes, right? But fucking it's still irritating, right? Like it's still irritating for the act to actually happen in your head, you know. Like there's a couple of New England guys that I'm just like what are you doing? Like fucking. Did you ever see that those TikToks with the two deli guys, the Boston deli?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I always find that funny when you know that they're ripping on the New York people. And they're like, "What's up, Derek Jeter?" You know, like fucking just.
Well, I hate to say that. I hate to say it, and maybe guys like you and I are biased, but it's like Boston's a knockoff version of New York. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, 100%.
The Patriots or Red Sox.
Yeah.
You're not New York. Nobody cares, bro.
Right.
You know, L.A. Same thing. Cool. You're like a warm knockoff Boston. That's all you are. I don't want to hear it. There's New York. It's the Empire State. It is what it is, dude. I'll take it. We talk shit. I want to move out of the state. You want to move out of the state. At the end of the day, we love New York, even though it's overpriced and liberal. It is what it is. But nobody else is New York, and it's just that simple. You're not on par. You're not equal. You're just trying, and that's cool.
Right.
You can keep trying.
Right. Well, I would imagine you're more of a Republican than a Democrat, right?
Yeah, it's a safe bet, bud.
Right, yeah. I would say that's a safe bet.
Yeah.
However, the reality of it is our business tends to be better when there's a Republican in office. You know,
the world fucking is that way. Just listen. I understand people will. You want to get political? People will pick and choose, you know, sides of the spectrum. I think we've done this when we used to be this, which is fine. But at the end of the day, like they're social experiments, right? And we've gone through these social experiments. And you call Biden and Trump a social experiment. Trump might have talked a lot of shit. He's a rich frat guy. You didn't like it. Country did really well. Biden catered to you and made you kissed your ass, and now we're all fucking broke. So which one do you want? You're feeling fit and have some money? I choose that. The same thing with gun violence, gun control, right? You have cities that have like no gun laws. You want a gun? Enjoy, bro. There's no gun crime. Why?
Right.
Because grandma will take out a 32 or 38 and shoot you in the ass, right? Then you go to Chicago, no one can have guns. Super high gun range, right? We've tried these social these experiments, they failed. So it's time for you to get the heads out of the asses and fix it.
Yeah, that's just basically the way it goes. And I think that like organizations like USARC and all that, they don't want to say that, because they don't want to get involved in the split. Because believe me, there's a lot of weird fucking chicks with purple hair and fucking pink lipstick and fucking muffin tops that I see at these reptile shows that you could tell, and you're like, I don't think she voted for Trump,
Well, yeah, maybe not. I look at it like this though, and I'm saying this as a cop. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. You want to be a crackhead? Enjoy. You want to change your gender? Enjoy. But don't make me change my life because of you. That's where it's a problem. You want to have pink hair and be fucking fat and be liberal, and I don't give a fuck. But don't tell me what bathroom to use. Don't tell me what to do and when to do it, okay? Enjoy yourself. You're not going to tell me not to lift weights. You're not going to tell me not to have a beard, right? So you know what? Enjoy. Do your thing. I'll do my thing. We can hang out. We both like snakes, no doubt. But don't tell me how to live my life, and we'll be okay.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, the community is, man, this is going to sound like shit. And I'll get in trouble. So
don't edit it out. You edit it out.
The community is all accepting until you disagree with somebody, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the way it is. It's just like the minute you disagree with one thing, like I saw that the Gay Alliance or whatever in San Francisco, they were going to have Dee Snider be the master of ceremonies, right? And Dee Snider was like, yeah, well, let's do it. I've been dressing up like a woman my whole life. I've been dressing like a 7 foot, 300-pound woman my whole fucking life. Let's do it, right? And they were all excited and they were doing all these announcements. And then Dee Snider goes, but I agree that you shouldn't be able to change the sex of a 3-year-old, right? Because he thinks he's a woman. And the gay people and the trans people were like, fuck you, Dee Snider, you're fucking out, right? And that's kind of how this whole fucking ball python business is, like fucking the second you could agree with somebody 90% of the time, if you disagree with them 10% for what cocoa substrate you use or what fucking, whether you feed frozen dogs, then all of a sudden the majority of that person's groupthink labels you an asshole in his fucking community. And it's kind of irritating.
I have two responses to that. First, if you say something, right, I'm a big advocate of doubling down, right? The second you say something and you piss somebody off and you backtrack, you've lost all credibility, they're going to pounce, right? It's like blood in the water. So if I say something and I really feel that way, if I say something like, I didn't mean it that way, then fix what you said. If you say something, you really mean it, and someone's, I don't like that, well, fuck you, that's how I feel, right? Done. Right. Hold your ground. You want to cancel me? Suck a dick. Enjoy. Okay, you're not going to cancel shit. Also, what was the second part you said? I'm sorry.
Well, it was just the vocal minority.
When I started this business, right, and I chose to have a shield and a blue line, right? A lot of people were like, dude, just so you know, like in this industry, like people might not like cops. Like I get a lot of FTP on social media, and there's people that come to my booth, they look at it, they look at me, and they make a face and walk away. And that's cool. I definitely lose customers based upon the fact that I'm voicing the fact I'm a cop. However, I've also gained customers that weren't snake guys because I'm a cop. Guys were there for like geckos for the kid, lizards. They're like, oh, you're a cop? Yeah, dude, no doubt. I'm an intel in the city, etc. Oh, bro, my dad did this. I did this. Oh, you want a snake? Yeah, fuck yeah. And I give them a normal, right? So I think it's one of those things where you're going to have people that are going to talk shit about you. They're going to ostracize you from certain groups. So then let them, dude. It is what it is.
Well, that's the whole thing, though. But fucking you being you are one of the people who don't give a fuck if you get ostracized, right? Like fucking me being me, I don't give a fuck if I get ostracized. But a lot of people in the hobby are not built like you and I. They're soft. Yeah. So the amount of keyboard tough guys in this hobby are huge, right? I mean, it's a huge amount of fucking people. And is there a way to end that or make that better? Or fucking.
So we talked this before. There's a lot of keyboard warriors and a lot of tough guys in the industry, and I say the same thing. Like, I'll see you at a show.
Right.
It's just that simple, right? Like, I hate, like, you and I, right? You made a comment on my Patreon a couple years ago, right? And I waited until I saw you in person to say something. And you said something back like witty, and I was like, all right, cool. Done. Right? But I'm not going to be like, hey, fuck you, Chris. Like, no, I'll see you, right? I'll see you at Tinley. I'll see you at Pomona. And then if you want to figure it out, then no doubt, dude. But, if you want to talk shit, then listen, it is what it is. There's some people in life that are about that action, right? Some people in life live behind their keyboard and they're from Arkansas, Nebraska, or some Midwest West state where they're going to talk shit to the guy in New York, the guy in Boston, the guy in LA. You're going to see these people in person eventually. Just keep those balls about you.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? Like, if you're not keeping the balls at all, fucking, then you automatically announce to the whole world that you're a fucking pussy, right? Like, it's just one of those things. It's so now you've been in this business 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Give me the best thing and the worst thing about this whole hobby.
What do you want to talk? Finances? You want to talk friends? You want to talk
anything? Like, fucking, what's something that, like, you just think to yourself, man, this is a really great part of this, or this is the part of this that I hate and I can't stand?
I think the most difficult part about this is the work at times, and I think I've done. I'll pat myself on the back here. I've done a pretty good job building the brand, snakes, acquiring different genetics. There's still doubt here and there, right? There are times where I'm driving home. It's like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, you just hit this door. You just did this. You just worked 40 hours. Now you're going to pick up snake shit. Like, why? For what?
Right.
You know what I mean? Then I get in here and I enjoy it and I like it. So there's definitely self-doubt at times. And I think anytime you're on the right track with something, whether it's snakes or any business or any hobby, there's going to be self-doubt. I think that's the most difficult part, is talking yourself through that, and especially now, right? It's looking, well, I spent fucking 10 G's in this male, and now he's producing animals that are $1,500. Like, oh, fuck, what do I do? Am I making the right decisions financially? Should I just put that in the S&P 500 and just, put the dividends back in and let it sit for 10 years, okay? That's the worst part, is getting in your own head. So once you can silence yourself and that self-doubt, I think you're good. The best part, listen, don't get me wrong, like, there's definitely a financial gain. I have no problem talking about you with numbers. As cliche and gay as it sounds, like, I've made friends in this hobby that are like my best friends.
Right.
Like Devin, Paul, I've known Nash for years, Matt, Anthony, all these guys, Dave, Charlie Upstate. Like, I'm sure I'm forgetting a few and they'll be bitchy about it. But like, I made friends with people that I legitimately are inviting to my wedding. They come to my bachelor party. One lives in my fucking house. You know what I mean? And like, it's very difficult to find genuine friends. And to your point, a lot of people in this hobby fuck other people over. Like, to meet guys that I can just give the code to my facility and there's $500,000 worth of snakes in here, and I know they're going to come in here, grab what they need, and leave. It's really nice to have that camaraderie in a hobby where you're also making a little bit of money. I think that's pretty cool.
Right. That I would agree with you there, because the amount of people that I met in this hobby who have become best friends of mine, right? Yeah. People like Shane Kelly, people like fucking Brittany Gobble, people like, even Justin to some extent, and Chase and JT, fucking those are the best people. Now, the problem that I feel with the hobby is there's really only 20% of those people that are good people.
Can I interject real quick?
What's that?
Let me interject real quick. To piggyback on what we're talking about here, there's also people I've met on social media in this hobby. Mike from MK, Mike from Redline, Shane, where I never met these people in person at all, but we have the same interest in hobby. And then when I see them at Tinley, or Mike came and stayed at my house last summer, like, it's like these people without ever having met them. You know what I mean? And I think that's a huge bonus to this hobby, is to have that camaraderie with people throughout the country that you've never met.
Well, yeah, I think that's the case too, because I was friends with Shane for years before we became really good friends. The problem, I think, is that the 20% fucking keep you in it, right?
Yeah.
Like the 80% of the people where you're like, man, this guy's a fucking cunt. I'm just done with this because I don't want to deal with them. Then you talk to somebody like you or fucking Shane or fucking Paul, and then they
not
don't
Paul.
around, you know, but not Paul. Yeah,
Nah, Kevin.
Paul just makes people want to quit, right?
Yeah. I'm inviting Paul to the fucking bachelor party. I'm gonna get him collared down in Texas. You watch.
You know what I would do? I would just fucking invite Paul to the fucking bachelor party, but have a ass ton fucking pile of cocaine right
yeah.
like
Okay. Real fucking test, Paul. Enjoy.
That's right. Fucking an hour in, fucking Paul's in the bathroom with fucking powder on his face. Fucking, you know, I mean, I think that shit would be funny as shit. Not for Paul, of course. All right, Paul got a little bit of a problem, but for us, okay, it would be great, right? Jesus. Well, how could people get in touch with you, man?
Social media, dude. On Instagram, blue_line_morphs. I'm always on there.
What's the fucking underscores?
I don't know. That's just how I did it.
Oh, that's fucking gay, man. You don't need those underscores, man.
Yeah, but then it's like it's 3 different words. I don't know. That's how I did it. That is what it is. And then you know what's funny is I wanted to change my name to Blue Line Exotics.
Right.
Because the abbreviation of my name is BLM. And I thought that would be counterintuitive.
Yeah, you know, I don't even know where to go with that. That's fucking. Hell no, I'm not getting involved in that.
There's probably about 5 or 10 people who are gonna watch this and die laughing. That's like an ongoing joke.
Yeah, fucking BLM. That's fine. That's how I'm gonna refer to you from now on. I'm gonna be like Devin Baker from BLM. It's fucking. Holy shit! All right, so it's blue_line_morphs everywhere, right?
Yeah, we're on just Instagram, social, YouTube's Blue Line Morphs. Facebook, I'm not really active on. Instagram, you know what I mean, mainly.
So on your Patreon, what do you talk about? Like, what is a reason that someone would join your Patreon?
Well, we have a giant group text. There's 2 tiers, obviously. The one tier, the upper tier, is like we're mainly just trying to help each other go through breeding plans, stuff like that. We have an actual group text on our phone. I send daily, try to send videos a couple times a week just to them and talk to them about various things. Then on Instagram is a giant group text, and it really is a lot of, to your point, a lot of camaraderie. Everyone's pretty tight. If you're an asshole, you kind of get ostracized and you get booted. It is what it is. Everyone's pretty open. Everyone's helping each other, which is nice. There's so many animals being sold or exchanged or breeding plans or people joining up to help. Other Patreons, you can't sell your animals in there, correct?
Right.
With mine, there's people selling animals all the time in there. Enjoy. Listen, I want everyone to do well. I do well financially, PD. This business does well. I would rather see the guy that has 10 snakes to sell 2 in the Patreon to one of our other Patreon guys than me to snipe that business that you can't be in here. So it's a giant community. There's 60 or 70 of us now. Always talking. Chat's always going off, helping each other. Huge discount on snakes. There's people that owe me money and I just ship the snakes to them. They're not going anywhere. I don't want to fucking feed it. You feed it.
Right.
And it's more or less. I started the Patreon, dude. I had 3 years in this business, I guess. And I started the Patreon because I feel like I did a relatively good job building the brand, building the business. And what I've seen with my day-to-day life with PD is there's a huge disconnect between chiefs and cops. Yeah, they don't remember what it's like to be on the footboats dealing with the shit. So they'll make adjustments to your rule book and shit. It's like, bro, you're so fucking outdated and you're so far disconnected. It's like you have no idea what you're talking about. And I kind of figured the same thing with the snake industry. There's guys that are way past me, right? And they have $1 million facilities. They're making wild shit. But they probably don't remember what it's like to have 2 years in the business and try to figure shit out. Or I'm not that far removed. So I wanted to help and guide people. And don't get me wrong, dude. The Patreon definitely pays my rat bill. You know what I mean? But it also helps to, make a nice little community. And I look forward to that.
Do you have a Discord there?
Yeah, we're not active in it. We have a full Discord. Nobody uses it.
Yeah, I'm having trouble getting that thing off the ground with mine.
It's a separate app. You know what I mean? It's difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all right. Well, I'm gonna let you get back to your fiance and your wedding planning bullshit and fucking.
No.
I'm hoping to
Miserable.
God you don't have kids, but I can just see your
You want to
fucking
babysit?
kid. No. Your kid will probably destroy your wife's vagina. All
Well,
right.
you know what's funny is she's 4'11", 106 pounds.
Yeah. I was gonna say that. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a problem coming out. It's gonna be like
she's
your
gonna kill
wife
my
is gonna
genetics.
give birth to the boulder from Indiana Jones. You
Yeah,
know what?
I'm gonna, or she's gonna give me a little Italian baby. I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Right.
A little 5'4" Geo.
A little Joe Pesci fucking pops out.
I was like, you motherfuckers killed my whole fucking gene line.
Fucking A. Fucking you motherfuckers. What's with this fat fuck over here? Like, he's your dad. He's like, fuck him, the motherfucker. Right? Dude, thank you so much.
Shanty Irishman. Yeah. You're not so bad, Chris.
Yeah, neither are you, man. Fucking, I'm we're gonna hook it up soon. As soon as I'm back walking again, we're gonna do that dinner. But when we do that dinner, we can't invite 70 fucking people to come because that's what it turned into. It went into like fucking 5 of us getting together to like 75 people showing up at a fucking Korean barbecue somewhere.
Yeah, it's like 80 people going to the Chinese buffet. Like,
right.
Yeah, I mean, shit. It is what it is. It is what it is, but we can figure it out.
Yeah, no, we definitely will. Fucking Baker, thank you so much for fucking doing this, man. I appreciate you.
Be safe, brother.
All right, brother. Take it easy, man. All right. Thank you so much to Devin Baker of Blue Line Morphs and the Herping Harbins. Love those fucking people. Tennessee people. Love them. That's where the fat man's going to end up. All right. Tennessee, man. Fucking love it. Smoky Mountains. Maybe a Bigfoot sighting in your backyard. Gotta love it. Gotta just fucking love it. Anyway, want to thank those three for making this show today and hanging out with me for for what time they did. I do appreciate it. Now, if you guys want to get inside access to the fat man, I know that's what a lot of you ladies are thinking. That's what she said. Anyway, if you want inside access to the fat man, join the Patreon for as little as $5 a month. You get you get exclusive videos, you get discounts on merchandise that our guests are selling. You get to hop in a Zoom call half an hour early. You get a free t-shirt with the $20 level, I think, the blue line. And you get to help out the fat man. Okay, be like all of these cool motherfuckers right here who help the fat man every month keep the lights on. So I definitely appreciate all my Patreon people. I love you guys. And also there's a Discord that you get invited to as soon as you sign up for the Patreon. So we're making shit happen. We're making shit happen. Even though I said I'd never do a Discord because it's pretty toxic. You got to do what the kids do. All right. You just got to do what the fucking kids do. There's going to be another Fat Man Live on Sunday, I believe. That's Sunday the, 7th maybe? I don't know. It's going to be another Fat Man Live. Anyway, there's also going to be another Zoom call. I got a little fucked up and I got stupid stoned for the last Zoom call. And basically I just left. And it was pretty fucked up. Thanks to Steven, Brian Bodie, and Jared over at Jaw Dropping. They kept it going for about 3 fucking hours. It was longer than a regular Zoom call without me there. Fucking loved it. I was in my bed fucking floating, okay, like you wouldn't believe. And I feel like I had my chick there and I ruined the Zoom call for her by having her worry about me because I just shut my fucking camera off and rolled into the bedroom. I was just like, fuck this, I can't handle it. So there's going to be another Zoom call, maybe Saturday, maybe the following week. Keep checking back on my socials to find that out. And then finally, don't forget, in the Foxhole, okay, it's going to be on Green Line Marsh Channel tomorrow at 9 p.m. Fucking helping out the vets. Fucking let's have a big showing for the first show. We're going to have JT Tomlinson there from Rep the Chip. Who's a vet. Jay, the host, one of the other hosts, our vet is a vet, and just a good fucking guy, man. So let's have some fun. Let's help out the vets. Let's show some support for the vets, and let's you know, I don't know. Let's just keep doing shit. Keep doing positive shit, right? I mean, that's what, you know, it's hard. It's got to tell you, it's fucking hard. It's fucking hard to just always be positive. But, you know, a lot of shit is going right for me now, so I'm pretty happy. So I will see you guys at one of those previous things. If not, I will see you here on the next episode 111. And the guest on episode 111, none of you have ever heard of, okay? But, well, actually, that's not true. Some of you heard them. A couple of you have been looking, popping my name in Spotify, and this old podcast that I used to do with my friend Dakem Duncan kept showing up. And a lot of you started watching that. And that show was called My One Black Friend and My One White Friend. And it was basically just pop culture podcast that, you know, we talked about movies, we talked about TV shows, we talked about books. And the people that have watched it have fucking said that they liked it enough to for me to have Duncan on this actual show. So yeah, it's gonna be Duncan. It's gonna be a fun fucking show. I'm gonna tell me and Duncan have known each other for probably close to 40 years. And he's just a fucking good guy, and fucking he's funny as fuck. And I fucking love the guy, and I'm happy that I'm gonna have him on the show next as I get interrupted by my phone. For the love of God, I'm so unprofessional. Listen, guys, thanks again for hanging around. See you guys in 2 weeks. Everyone talks their own shit about what kind of racks you should buy. Metal racks are great, but everyone doesn't want a goddamn 7-foot high, 6-foot wide, 2,000-pound metal rack in their fucking house. That's a 2-refrigerator footprint, man. 2 fucking refrigerators. Sea Serpents makes insane quality racks that could fit anywhere. They're stackable PVC racks that are living room friendly, and they're shipped fully assembled with heat tape already installed. Just plug it into a thermostat and you're ready to go. When we had the shop, we had over 20 Sea Serpent racks there before they ever became a sponsor of Snakes and a Fat Man. I don't breed much anymore these days, but I still have a few racks here in my house, and you could be goddamn sure that they're Sea Serpents. Oh, and they also make hotbox incubators, probably the best reptile incubators made in America. At the height of our breeding business, we had 4 4-foot hotbox incubators, and again, I still have a small hotbox incubator here in case anything I keep actually does breed. Go to SeaSerpents.com and check out their incredible selection of PVC racks, and tell Chris Nettles that the Fat Man sent you.